Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do this drive review on this RC truck that I've had for quite a while. This is the XDJ 699-200. I've had this for quite a while, and just now I'm finally getting around to reviewing this truck. It's rather unique. It has these roller-like wheels that lets your truck go in any direction in 360 degrees when these wheels are attached. Now, before I came out to film this, I went to look and see if this was still available on Banggood, and it's not. They were kind enough to send this to me a while back, and I just like I said, just now got around to reviewing it, and they don't have it listed. So I googled it, and like the listings on AliExpress are not available. So I don't know if this truck is even made anymore, but I still want to see how it does, how it performs. Assuming that I do like it, I'll link you to some similar ones on Amazon down in the video description, but they're going to be more toy grade, more kiddie-like, but they have the same kind of wheels. Now, this also goes by the name Crossworld as the manufacturer. Let me show you guys the packaging box real quick. Crossworld 1/10 scale. Looks more 1/12 scale to me. The 2-in-1, as you mentioned there, and the model number on the says the 699-200 in blue. So that's actually the name of the actual manufacturer, but all the listings call it the XDJ as the actual name on this guy. Now it has 4 brushed motors, one that runs each wheel so they can run in different directions so that the car can move around with these wheels attached. So they're all connected inside there with little red JST, but it uses I don't know if this will show up, there's a Dean's plug in there, and there's a 2S lithium ion, 7.4 volt lithium ion pack down here, which I already have attached to the Dean's plug, and your on and off switches there on the bottom. Now they do give you a set of rubber tires. So you can attach these on here, pull these off, and run these as a regular car. Obviously, the controls to move around 360 sideways and spin around will not work with these tires attached. This will be for your regular off-road or traditional driving of the car. They give you, let's see if I can grab here, a decal sheet. Obviously, I've not put the decals on this guy yet to make the body look a little bit better. All it has is Bigfoot on there right now with a spider that shows up. And they give you your charger for the 2S lithium ion pack, your real standard USB charger that will take forever to charge with. I used a hobby grade. And a bag of spare parts. You get some extra A-arms, in case you would break one of those. A wrench so you can remove those wheels, a Phillips screwdriver, and some of these hub nuts that goes into the hub, in case you're replacing the wheels and you lose one. And they give you, what else was in there? There was, I think that's it. There's some regular nuts that go on the actual outside of the wheels as well. So it's nice they gave you some spare parts. Let's very briefly go over the controller, then we'll get this guy out and actually drive it. It looks like a standard pistol grip, but you have this joystick in the middle, and this is to let you go in any direction. So you can go diagonal or sideways, any direction a traditional vehicle can't do. These buttons do 360 spins right or left. You get a steering trim and a throttle trim in your power switch. So let's power this guy on and see how it goes. I think this is pretty heavy, just because of the 4 motors and these really heavy roller wheels. So this truck, I do not expect it to be very fast. So do keep that in mind. So let's try and turn it on. And let's see how this guy does. Now I'm just going to do the review today with just these wheels. I'm not going to mess with the standard. Standard is going to be just the same. It's just not going to be able to go sideways. There we go. We got it powered up and bound. Now when I first opened this up, and it could have been me throwing this around in the box, the steering wheel didn't want to steer. I had to open the controller, and the little knob that fits in here had fallen out a little bit, so it wasn't turning with the wheel. It was super easy to fix. So if you get something like that would happen to yours, it's not like something you need to return it over. It was super easy to fix, but most likely it had to do with me just throwing it around in a box and not being careful with it. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. We're just driving it as a traditional car in a moment, because you've got your throttle and your reverse here and then your brake. So we can just drive it that way, and those wheels are going to make it spin pretty easily. Before I do any of the more acrobatic stuff, I just want to see what kind of power we have. That's not bad. So I said it's just a little odd with those wheels on. And it does feel like it's maybe pulling on me a little bit. Yeah, it's pulling to the right. So we're going to steer trim it up a little bit. But with these wheels on, it's going to be hard to stay in a straight line anyway. Now let's drive it with the joystick. So you don't have to, it just gives it throttle. So let's just go, now like so you can go in any direction we want. It's just spinning those wheels in different directions. And maybe I can hold up so you guys can see off the ground so you have an idea what it's doing here. When I press this in different directions. See, some wheels are going, some aren't. And that's why it has individual motors for each one. So obviously, there's a little more wear and tear. If you would have a motor go bad, obviously that'd be a problem. It looks like they're rather small brush motors. I didn't pay attention real close to the size. They're probably even smaller than 380s. But they're only running one wheel, so you can just sit here and drive this thing with just the joystick. Look at that. That's pretty crazy. And you still have steering, which will help, if you want to maneuver it around a little bit with the steering while you're using this, like that. I've never driven one of these. I know there's a few trucks like this around. My friend David drove one had something like this a year or so ago. So this is not the first one to do it, but it's very unique. So you can just drive this truck all alone using just the joystick. Or you can steer a little bit with it and add to it with the steering. Let me show you those buttons with the spins. You just hold it and it's just doing a donut, left or right. So you can steer this up and then hit the button, spin around. Actually, I really like driving. I like driving it both ways, but I think it's kind of fun with that joystick because you don't need to use the traditional throttle trigger. But it is a little, it's not bad, but it's a little awkward because you're having to hold it. Now I'm holding it up for the camera, but just holding it in front of you, it's a little bit, for a kid or somebody who might drive this with smaller hands, it may be more difficult for them. They may have to just hold it more like, differently to do it. So switching between the two is going to be more difficult for someone younger, just due to the size of their hands. But yeah, I don't see, I was going to say why there's some hate for this. I know I've kind of heard some mumblings at times that there was certain, this truck was not all that well received at one time. But I have no idea to know if that has anything to do with it not being listed anywhere. The manufacturer just might have gone out of business or decided, to make something different. I have no idea. But I'm not having any problems with it. Aside from that little quick fix I had to do with the controller, this thing's pretty great. Again, it's not real fast, but it's a little quicker than I thought it would be. But you're considering you got 4 motors driving this, and then on top of it, that adds a lot of extra weight. All right, let's just drive it down here a little bit and just see what kind of rough estimate. We're not going to do any speed tests, but just see an idea. Again, it's because of those wheels, it's not going to be very good for doing that with these wheels attached. It just spins out so easy with those rollers. See, I can't really get a top speed guess. Kinda there we can. That throttle kind of stuck there a little bit. That's not too bad there. Yeah, it's pulling to the left now, it looks a little bit. Keep in mind, you want to do just this kind of driving here where you're going in a straight line. You want to put the rubber tires on. The rubber tires are going to be much better for that, and I have no doubt it will drive just fine. Again, just don't expect any kind of crazy top speed out of this because of the setup. It's not designed for that. It's meant to be a stunt vehicle. But for what it is, I don't have any complaints. This is perfectly acceptable to me. One thing I did notice when I was looking at the price when it was available, it's a little high, and that could be another factor too. This was around $120 or $30. That's, you know, like some of the extra wheels and tires and, you know, all the components and all having the 4 motors drive it, but that's a bit high for what this truck does when you consider that you can buy a brushless truck for considerably less, maybe smaller in size. But if someone's buying this, they're buying it because they want to be able to do what I'm doing. So it, you know, it doesn't really matter on the top speed. It's just you're not going to be, if you want to take this off-road, there's better options. If your main purpose is going to be off-roading, there's better options than this at this price. But again, I don't know where this truck is available. I don't see it on AliExpress. It's not on Banggood, and it's not on Amazon. So, but you know, for these kind of wheels, this is really unique. So what I would say is, you know, I do like this, and I do like these wheels, and I do like this design. I have no doubt the regular tire is going to be just fine. So my recommendation would be, if you want to get something like this with this style of wheels, then check out in the video description down there. It's some of the ones I found on Amazon that could run, I don't know if they were $50, maybe I think they might even have some of them as low as 30 something. They're going to probably be slower than this, but they're going to allow you to do these same maneuvers. Now, some of them have a little controller, it's smaller, not a pistol grip, and it has like a little gyro like control wrist thing. So some more gimmicks on top of some of those, but they're going to allow you to do the same stuff, because I feel like at the price this originally sold at, it's too expensive for what it does, and you could buy yourself an off-road truck. And if you just want to have that 360 sideways motion drift car, then you can just buy a cheap one on top of it. You know, buy yourself an RC truck and one of those cheap ones that I listed down in the video description, and you can get both for probably the same price as this truck cost alone. All right, guys, I think it's enough driving around. Just driving around in circles, it's kind of getting pretty boring and not doing a whole lot of good. So that wraps up the review of the XDJ 699-200 by Crossworld. Again, I don't know any purchase links to this, but I'll include those links to those ones I found on Amazon, which are a lot less. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Click the bell, that way you're notified every time I do upload a new video. As always, guys, have a wonderful day.
The power of the dark side.